So that means if somebody does not eat for 12 hours, the body starts using the muscle.
Right, it's got to use something. It can only store glycogen for so long.
Okay, so talk about this whole thing about, several meals a day. A lot of people are recommending that. So how many hours would you say and how many meals would you suggest?
Well, I recommend 5 small meals a day. That's generally the best recommendation, and that's what I've written into the book, is 3 meals and 2 snacks.
Right.
Your mid-afternoon snack, as I say, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, berries. Right. That's a real good way to go. A whole wheat pita or rice cake.
Right.
Those are a good choice for your early snack.
Right.
After your late afternoon snack, if it's on a workout day, you want to use something that'll resynthesize glycogen back into your muscles. Raisins are a great choice.
Okay.
If you can have a potato is a good source that will help get some glycogen back into your muscles. On a non-workout day, any of the other choices from the first snack are good too. Fruits, vegetables, things like that. That should be a very high percentage of your diet, ideally, and is very healthy stuff for your body, assuming you don't put stuff on it that's bad. I always say, what's bad for us in the American diet isn't as much what we eat as it is what we put on what we eat.
Okay.
Butter, margarine, sugar, salt, all that kind of stuff does you a lot more harm in some cases than the good stuff you're eating does good. So try to keep the additives to a minimum and try to enjoy the taste of a carrot.
Yes, I think one of the things is that people disguise the what you call the taste of food by adding a lot of stuff. And what you were talking about potatoes, for example, people are terrified of potatoes. They feel that if they touch potatoes, they'll get fat, and it's really the butter and the margarine and all, the cream cheese and all sorts of stuff.
You go into a bar and you order, potato skins covered in cheese and bacon bits. Look, I'm not saying that's bad all the time, anything in moderation, but that's what's bad for you is not the potato, it's all that stuff on there.
Right.
I tend to slice them thin, pop them in the oven or the microwave and eat them like cookies. You want a little extra flavor, put a little garlic powder on there.
Oh, that's what you do. Okay.
Yeah, with a potato. I mean, I think I can eat a potato plain, but I enjoy the flavor of it. If you don't, garlic powder is a pretty good choice. But a ton of cheese and bacon, you're going to be taking in a lot of negatives along with that potato.
Okay. So if somebody came to you and said, okay, put us on this plan, we want to lose weight or whatever, get healthier, what would you suggest to an average person?
Well, I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not going to come up with a diet plan per se for an individual. I come up with general information that is sound and has a lot of scientific backing.
Right.
The general rule of thumb is, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60% complex carbohydrates, about 15–20% protein, and the rest from healthy fats.
Okay.
Fat is not bad.
Right.
It's saturated and trans fat are bad.
Right.
The kind of fat, if you look at what I saw recently listed as the healthiest diet in the world, they claimed was the diet of Crete. Your Mediterranean diets.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. I remember they've done research in certain places in Japan and some places in some parts of the world. They have long lives, and they kind of analyze the diet.
Well, high in fatty fish, salmon. Salmon is very high in the type of fats that will raise your level of HDL.
Right.
Which is, I don't know how much a lot of people are pretty aware of this now, but LDL, low density lipoproteins, kind of deposit stuff on the walls of your arteries and narrow the openings, which obviously isn't a good thing.
Right.
What HDL does basically is get that stuff off of there.
Right.
And speaking of fruits and vegetables, folic acid, which is a B vitamin, they've found that cholesterol is not as good a predictor now of heart disease as something called homocysteine.
Okay.
Which joins with LDL and deposits stuff on the walls of your arteries.
Okay.
Now, folic acid helps remove that.
Right.
So folic acid is important. Fatty fish, which raise your level of HDL, is important.
Right.